Dynamic groups are a really powerful feature of LogicMonitor. They allow you to specify criteria that devices in the group should meet, and devices will be assigned to or removed from the group automatically based on that criteria. Common configurations for dynamic groups include grouping based on device location. If you set a location property on your devices, you could create dynamic groups that group your devices based on which office location they are in. If a device is shipped from one office to another and the location property is updated, the device will be automatically moved to the correct dynamic group. Device type. You may want to group all devices of a similar type together. For example, maybe you want to group all the NetScalers in your data center together. Device name. If your devices are named in a consistent manner, you can create dynamic groups based on that naming convention. For example, you could create a dynamic group that includes all devices with production in the name to group production devices together. If you're using LogicMonitor's AWS monitoring functionality to monitor your AWS resources, you can use dynamic groups to group together all resources with a particular AWS tag. This can be helpful if you're grouping together all resources in a single stack or business application. In addition to using dynamic groups to group devices together, you may want to use dynamic groups to handle a subset of devices differently. For example, if you have devices with custom port settings, for example, if you have certain SQL servers that have a custom port configured for MySQL data collection, and these servers all have names that start with alt, you could dynamically group those servers, clone the MySQL data source, edit the cloned data source to use the custom port, and then apply it to only the cloned group. All existing and new MySQL servers added to the account that have a name starting with alt will automatically get the cloned data source with the custom port instead of the original MySQL data source. If you're using a dashboard widget or report to display data for a certain type of device, you could dynamically group those devices and configure the widget or report to reference that dynamic group. New devices added to the account that match the dynamic group criteria will automatically be added to the widget or report. Dynamic groups typically enforce organization better and with less required effort than manual groups. Learn more at LogicMonitor.com.